cartel leader who died in prison. Hi and welcome to True Crime, a channel dedicated to the dark underworld of criminal activity carried out by gangsters, mobsters, cartel leaders, and others. Today, we dive deep into the criminal underworld to explore the life and legacy of Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, the cartel leader who died in prison. Get ready for an unforgettable journey. Delve into the mind of a criminal mastermind and uncover the shocking truths that lie within the shadows. Welcome to our exploration of the cartel leader who died in prison. In the shadowed realm of the Colombian drug trade, a name echoed with a potent legacy of power and influence, Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela. Alongside his younger brother Miguel, he orchestrated a global empire of cocaine from the humble streets of Cali, Colombia. While the world fixated on the flamboyant brutality of Pablo Escobar and the Medellín cartel, the Rodríguez brothers silently built an operation that surpassed all expectations. Their methods diverged from Escobar's path of violence and chaos. Gilberto Rodríguez mastered the art of bribery and strategic alliances, cultivating a web of corruption that stretched its insidious tendrils across Cali. The drug profits were meticulously laundered and reinvested into an expanding empire of banks, drugstores, and even a soccer team, a calculated move to amass greater power. To safeguard their interests, Gilberto operated an extensive network of spies. Hundreds of taxi drivers, hotel clerks, and construction workers became his eyes and ears, constantly monitoring law enforcement activities. No boundary was too sacred as he even tapped into the U.S. Embassy's private conversations. In a display of calculated influence, the Rodríguez brothers injected millions into the 1994 Colombian presidential campaign of Ernesto Samper Pizano, who would ultimately claim victory. Despite denying any knowledge of the funds, fans of the hit series Narcos will remember the enigmatic character of Mr. Rodríguez, brought to life by the talented actor Damian Alcazar. The international press, too, couldn't resist the allure of this notorious figure, often painting him as a brainy gentleman amidst a sea of ruthless drug lords, a portrayal not entirely unfounded. With a penchant for poetry and a preference for managing legitimate enterprises, Mr. Rodríguez stood apart from his counterparts. Dubbed the chess player, his nickname revealed his calculated approach to power. While the Cali cartel was far from virtuous, they understood the consequences of wanton violence. Unlike the brazen acts of Pablo Escobar, who would orchestrate public shootings, Mr. Rodríguez's methods left no trace. In Cali, those who crossed him would simply vanish into thin air, ensuring minimal attention from Colombian authorities. Through strategic maneuvers, including a fruitful alliance with Italy's Camorra crime syndicate, Mr. Rodríguez propelled the Cali cartel to unprecedented heights. By the late 1980s, they had eclipsed the Medellín cartel in their share of the global cocaine market. During its peak in the mid-1990s, after the demise of Escobar and the Medellín cartel, the Cali empire controlled a staggering 80% of the U.S. cocaine market and a whopping 90% of Europe's. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration estimated their annual earnings in the United States alone at a staggering $7 billion. The rise and fall of Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, a chapter drenched in twists and turns, reached its climax with a surreal arrest. As the dust settled from Pablo Escobar's demise, the Colombian government redirected its gaze towards Cali, where the Cali cartel's empire stood defiant. Concealed for years, Mr. Rodríguez found himself trapped in the jaws of justice in 1995. Hiding within a secret compartment behind a seemingly innocent television, he emerged with a surrender on his lips, imploring the officers not to kill him, a plea from a purported man of peace. Despite their convictions for drug trafficking, the Rodríguez brothers received surprisingly lenient sentences. Curiously, they were incarcerated alongside their loyal associates, enabling them to maintain control over their cartel's operations, even behind bars. However, their freedom on a technicality in 2002 was short-lived. The United States swiftly demanded they're rearrested on new charges, triggering a gripping extradition battle. Finally, in 2006, the brothers stood before a federal court in Miami and entered guilty pleas to charges of conspiracy to import cocaine and conspiracy to launder money. The gavel fell and the sentence echoed, 30 years in prison for each brother, sealing their fates. Julie Myers, Assistant Secretary for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, captured the magnitude of the Rodríguez Orejuela brothers' reign, remarking, At one time, they oversaw one of the world's most powerful criminal organizations. With their conviction, they ascended to a chilling rank as perhaps the highest-level trafficking figures to ever occupy U.S. prison cells. The roots of Gilberto Jose Rodríguez Orejuela trace back to a small Colombian town, Mariquita, where he was born on January 31, 1939. His family later settled in Cali, a bustling city further south, in pursuit of better opportunities. His father, Carlos Rodríguez, toiled as a painter, while his mother, Ana Rita Orejuela, tended to their home. At the tender age of 15, Gilberto ventured into the working world as a drugstore clerk, swiftly climbing the ranks to become a manager. By 25, he took a leap of entrepreneurial spirit and established his own store. Yet, these ventures became mere tendrils that connected him to Cali's clandestine underbelly. Entangled in the criminal underworld, he dabbled in kidnapping and found his footing within the drug trade. In the 1970s, the Rodríguez brothers played a pivotal role in uniting disparate drug gangs, birthing the Cali Cartel, an entity that would alter the course of history. Miguel assumed the mantle of chief executive, steering day-to-day operations with precision, while Gilberto, the strategic mind, set the cartel's trajectory. Their leadership set the tone, a deliberate avoidance of ostentatious displays of wealth, extravagant parties, and, above all, unnecessary violence. A vast empire took shape, encompassing a sprawling chain of 400 drugstores, a cutting-edge pharmaceutical laboratory, expansive ranches, a radio network, and even ownership of the revered American soccer club in Cali. In the early days, an unlikely camaraderie blossomed between Mr. Rodríguez and Mr. Escobar. In a peculiar twist, Jorge Ochoa Vázquez, a prominent figure in the Medellín cartel, accompanied Mr. Rodríguez on a joint venture, a 1984 European expedition aimed at expanding their reach into untapped markets. Their ambitious plans were thwarted when they faced arrest in Spain for trafficking, but Mr. Rodríguez emerged unscathed, cleared of all charges. However, as the Colombian government intensified its campaign against the drug trade, tensions between the rival cartels escalated, fraying the fragile bond that once connected them. Beyond their disagreements over the lucrative North American markets, their fundamental approaches to retaliation diverged. While Mr. Escobar opted for all-out war, leaving a trail of bloodshed with the ruthless elimination of hundreds of police officers, politicians, lawyers, and journalists over 5 harrowing years, Mr. Rodríguez chose a different path. Preferring the role of a spectator, he watched from the sidelines as his two formidable threats tore into each other, strategically staying out of the line of fire. Yet, Cali did not emerge unscathed from the crossfire. A chilling encounter with Mr. Escobar left Mr. Rodríguez with a stark warning ringing in his ears: "Whoever is not with us is against us." True to his word, Mr. Escobar unleashed a relentless wave of attacks on Cali-owned businesses. From 1987 to 1989, the city bore witness to a series of bombings aimed at Mr. Rodríguez's drugstores, resulting in the tragic loss of 27 lives. After the demise of Mr. Escobar, an unexpected shift occurred within Mr. Rodríguez's turbulent psyche. A yearning for escape from the drug-infested labyrinth enveloped him, sparking a desire to sever ties with the illicit trade that had defined his existence. In a remarkable turn of events, he contemplated surrendering himself, hoping to secure a more lenient sentence. The weight of the world seemed to lift from his shoulders when the long arm of the law finally caught up with him. "I can no longer endure this relentless pressure," he confided to prosecutors, his weariness palpable. Surviving him in the wake of his passing into the annals of criminal history are his wife, Miriam Ramirez, his sisters, Rafaela Rodríguez and Amparo Rodríguez, 7 children, and a lineage of grandchildren. Their lives are forever interwoven with the notorious legacy left behind by their patriarch. Within the confines of the prison walls, Mr. Rodríguez's health deteriorated, succumbing to the formidable grip of numerous afflictions. His body is a battleground ravaged by 2 heart attacks, relentless battles against colon and prostate cancer, and even an encounter with the unforgiving grasp of COVID in 2021. In 2020, he pleaded for compassionate release, his plea resonating with the fragility of his condition. However, the hand of fate dealt a harsh blow as a judge denied his entreaty, prolonging his sentence and sealing his fate within the unforgiving walls of his incarceration. The tale of Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela echoes a life shaped by the relentless pursuit of power, fraught with moral complexities and punctuated by the toll of personal sacrifices. It serves as a sobering reminder that the allure of the criminal underworld, however captivating, is often a path paved with anguish and remorse, leaving indelible scars on the lives of those entangled within its dark embrace. Thank you for watching another amazing video from our true crime team. Like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned to our next reel.